Hey everyone, it's Sunday the 14th of May and we're going to get into today's latest crypto news. And the topic of today's video is crypto a massive scam? Now we're going to come onto it once we've got through some of the latest news and figures around the space, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so at the time of me making this video, Bitcoin is sat at $26,849, and in the last 24 hours that is an increase of 0.4%. Ethereum is sat at $1,807 and up in the last 24 hours 0.48%. BNB is at $312. In the last 24 hours that is up 0.93%. Of course we're going to cover XRP. XRP is currently at 42 cents. In the last 24 hours that is up plus 0.16%. Now, of course, I always cover this token because it is one that I am collecting as much as I can. The BGB token, which is BitGet's native token, that is at 47 cents. In the last 24 hours, it is down 1.6%. Now, I want to do something a little bit different in today's video. I'm going to start breaking down the charts a little bit more, so I really hope that you like this section. So, let's have a look at what I've been looking at and how I've been monitoring. So, if you are part of my Discord, you will have seen this several times. These are the price points of which we're expecting bounces. And I've got to say, we've been pretty good on the bar. Anyway, as you can see, we broke past the area of $27,627, and now we are in this next zone right here. Now, I see the bottom of this zone being around $24,753. It's going to be very interesting if we do come down and bounce off this mark. When we see a bounce, we want to come aggressively back. We don't want to see too much sideways trending, because if we go sideways too long, in my opinion, we will be testing the bottom of this range. But let's have a look at Ethereum. What's going on there? Now, it's very different with Ethereum, and I hope you can see this very clearly on your screens. We're quite there, and I think we should expect this aggressive bounce or not very, very soon. I see that being around the $1,728 mark. I mean, this is a key indicator, this is a key mark. As you can see, we have hit this mark before, but we bounced straight off. But we have been in that downwards trend ever since. So let's see how we perform around there. If not, we could see a new low potentially from the last month's around 1571. Let's see. For me, this is a key number, $1,728, around that mark. Let's see what comes in the next coming days. Anyway, let's have a look at crypto bubbles. Crypto bubbles, last 24 hours, top 100. Pepe is up again, 16.5%. RPL is up 8.3%. BSV is up 4.3%. But let's have a look at some of the losers. ApeCoin is down 1.6. XRD down 3.4. Kaz is down 1.9, Sandbox is down 0.4%. But yeah, again, this is a fantastic resource. I urge you to go and check it out. It's free, very visual. It certainly helps me with the way that I trade. Now, the FCA has continued to crack down on unregistered digital currency ATMs in the UK. And the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, which is called the FCA, has increased its intensity of its crackdown against illegal digital currency ATMs. Now, there has been fresh raids across the UK around this. Now, these efforts, they're not coming as a surprise. We've known for some time that these ATMs are not licensed, they're not allowed within the UK. It's very interesting. How this plays out in the coming months around the next legislation that comes from MiCA, the European body, is going to be very interesting. Clearly the UK has left Europe, and how that legislation and regulations then affect Europe and the UK is something to play, in my attention, put special attention towards. Will the UK open up and follow the likes of Poland and other countries like with some of the largest amounts of cash ATMs in the world? Believe it or not, Poland is like number 3 in the world for Bitcoin ATMs. You wouldn't believe that fact. Go and check it out. Will they? I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting. But what is kind of flagging to me is that they're cracking down hard right now. Interesting. The next story I really wanted to cover today was this. Now, it is alleged by the White House that over half of North Korea's missile program has been funded via stolen crypto. Now, according to an undisclosed White House official, it has funded almost half of its missile test programs via cyber attacks. And a recent chain analysis report suggests that North Korean hackers have embezzled 1.7 billion of digital assets in 2022. This is crazy, and it's arguably the most notorious local hacking collective It is absolutely insane. Now, North Korean hackers do remain a threat according to this article, and the Democratic Republic of Korea is on its way to becoming a military giant over the past few years, and it is one of few countries globally with nuclear weapons. It's led by its government and, of course, Kim Jong-un, and it takes every opportunity to increase its weapons, carrying out missile programs and various tests. Now, that is the hardcore kind of military stance. But from a technological point of view, clearly they have got very smart technologies and they are using it for the worse. But let's see how this plays out. Clearly this is a whistleblower from the White House that has released this story, but this is absolute craziness. This is one certainly to keep an eye on. Now, this story I really wanted to touch on as well. This is the 2023 Crypto Crime Report, and these stats really kind of trigger me, and it brought me on to making today's video. You can see in 2017, there's around $5 billion worth of stolen assets. 2018, around the same. Now, 2019, we saw a huge increase, up to $12 billion in illicit gains. Well, the year after, in 2020, it dipped down to $8 billion. But the year after that, 2021, this was huge. We went straight up to $18 billion. And in 2022, yet again, we are going up. It's at $20 billion. Now, despite the market downturn, illicit transaction volumes have risen in the past year and a half, hitting an all-time high volume of $20.1 billion. Now, this report stresses that this is a lower bound estimate, and actually this could potentially be much, much bigger. But I did want to bring this into, some statistics for this video. Now, according to Solidus Labs, up to 15 crypto scams are released per hour. And from January to November in 2022, hackers stole 4.3 billion worth of cryptocurrency, and this equates for around 37% increase from 2021 in the same period. So we're going to be paying close attention to the 2023 stats. Now, potentially the largest crypto scam to date could be the FTX, debacle, whereas experts, confirm that around 1 to 2 billion worth of clients' funds continue to be unaccounted for. And in Q1 of 2022, 97% of all stolen cryptocurrency came from DeFi protocols. Now, America, this is quite American-based, this report, but Americans lost $329 million due to cryptocurrency scams in one quarter in 2022, which is huge. And when we look at the Australian market, the Australians, they also lost 242 million Australian dollars to investment scams in the whole of 2022. Now, scammers tend to prefer Bitcoin, according to this report, around 70% of them, 10% in Tether, and around 9% in Ether for scams. But the most popular social media platforms for targeting these scams are Instagram at 32%, Facebook at 26%, WhatsApp at 9%, Telegram at 7%. Now, it's reported that the majority of crypto scams and losses actually began with a message or a social media post, and it shows that most young people aged 20 to 40 are susceptible of crypto scams. So this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I am so big on pushing education around the space. Now, I urge you, if you haven't checked out my website, it's called chainking.io. There's tons of free educational resources. Go and educate yourself on exactly what is a roadmap, for example. What is a light paper? What is market cap? But most importantly, what is a utility? Now, I really want to come on to this. Now, if you go onto the Oxford Dictionary and you check it out, the state of being useful, profitable, or beneficial. Okay, so how do we determine that? For me, when I look at utility, I just look at that key first word, useful. Has it got a real world purpose? Is it something that I can see myself or people around me or people I'm aware of making use of in the real world? Is there a need for it? Is there a demand for the product or the issue that it is solving? If you can answer that honestly, and you see the vision, and you've done your other checks around the token and the team and the project, then potentially it could be a nice project. But unfortunately, a lot of projects that we are seeing right now are built on a massive, massive Ponzi. But what is a Ponzi scheme? Let's have a look at it. A form of fraud in which is a belief that of success with non-existent enterprise, which is fostered by the payment of quick returns to the first investors for money that invested by later investors. This sounds like a pyramid scheme. It absolutely does. So if you get in early, you're encouraging other people to come in, and there's unfortunately only ever going to be one person that buys at the top and one person that buys at the bottom. So it's a race to buy and sell from beneath the people you invite in. It's got no real utility. You are literally reliant on social media campaigns, marketing, word of mouth. You are not focused on the utility. And unfortunately for me, this is why a lot of crypto projects sadly fail. Now, I just want to make one point very, very clear. I absolutely love the crypto space. It is an amazing, amazing space full of amazing people developing great products. But what I don't like is the culture of the space right now. Don't look for quick gains. Look for gains over a period of time and invest in things with a real life purpose. I've been guilty of it in the past. I've seen a project, FOMO'd in and thought, do you know what? This is the project for me. I'm going to make lots of money. And it's been an absolute flop. You may make money along the way, but you're going to lose more than you win. I urge you, if you take one thing from this video today, invest in utility, do better research, and of course, listen to as many opinions as possible. Now remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, please do subscribe, and most importantly, let's go!